Well, that's all, folks. That's the season. A lot of thoughts. A lot of thoughts on this one. But I think it really boils down to we screwed ourselves way too much in the first half. And then in the second half, the refs were on the Bills' payroll. So we shouldn't have put ourselves in that position where we're relying on the refs to make the right call. That's really what it comes down to in this game. It's really what it comes down to. Like, there were 2 or 3 really questionable calls against us second half, soft calls, whatever you want to call them. And, well, also non-calls. There were some non-calls that went against us. That final drive, that final real drive, whenever we had like 5-6 minutes left, 2-score game still. Back-to-back egregious holdings on the Bills player that was covering Jaylen Warren on the third down, and then the slant across the middle with Pickens. That was worse than anything the refs actually called against our defense and Miles Jack. But for whatever reason, they wanted to not throw the flags. They wanted to be timid on throwing the yellow flags at that point. Whatever, man. Whatever. That's what it felt like to me, second half. Refs were on the Bills' payroll. NFL wanted the Mahomes-Allen AFC divisional matchup. Whatever, man. Whatever. Throughout the course of this game, I really felt like the Steelers were as good of a team as the Bills. But again, we just screwed ourselves in that first half, the first quarter, with our turnovers. Mason throwing that pick in the end zone, and then Pickens fumbling the ball. And I will say this, too, going back to the refs. That Pickens fumble, man, I might be on an island on this one. I thought that was incomplete. Eye test, heat of the moment, not slowed down. That's a bang-bang play. That's at least what I know to be a catch versus a not catch. That's what I grew up on. I was like, I think that's incomplete. But what's funny is, in that second, I think it was the third quarter, Allen throws a slant to his tight end over the middle. I thought it was almost apples to apples to the Pickens fumble, but they called it incomplete. The dude had it 2 steps, and he punches the ball out from himself, and they called it incomplete. Ultimately, I think that was a little bit more inconsequential than the Pickens fumble call, because we ended up getting a 3-and-out. They punted it to us. And after like a play or two on offense, Mason had a really nice pass, a couple nice passes to start getting things moving on that drive. We were around the same point where that fumble would have taken place. Just a bummer, man. I just didn't think we played good football to start off, and that cost us. And that's when the refs started getting involved, and you can't do that. You got to take the game and put it in your control as much as possible. We know there's going to be human error. We know there's going to be some bad ref calls game in and game out. It happens. We witness it every time we throw on an NFL game. But we screwed ourselves, man. We screwed ourselves. It's unfortunate, because I really do think we can beat the Bills, but it just wasn't our day. Everything played out the opposite of what most people would think would happen. I get it. Josh Allen's good. But we also thought, he's turnover prone. He's going to put the ball in harm's way more likely than not a few times, right? But no, he kept it clean. And what have the Steelers been doing for most of the season, specifically these last 3 games? Not turning the ball over. I get we had the 2 turnovers in the Ravens game, but we all can admit that the monsoon elements had some effect on that. But yeah, we've been keeping it clean. We haven't been turning the ball over. What did we do? 2 turnovers in the first half. 2 just unrecognizable turnovers, if you're talking about the Steelers team. 2 unexpected turnovers. Happens. Pickens, a guy that's, pretty secure with the ball. Mason Rudolph, pick in the red zone. We've been capitalizing in the red zone with Mason at the helm. Just a bummer. Not our day. Not our day. And this is the result. Not our day. And meanwhile, Buffalo didn't have any turnovers. ran the ball better than I thought they were going to be able to as well. 179 on the ground. We only had 106. I thought we were going to be potentially the better running team. Now, if you want to go conspiracy, if they would have played the game when they initially intended to, yesterday, Sunday at 1 o'clock, would that have enabled us to be the better running team? Probably. Probably. I think we're a more physical, ground and pound group. Bills, a little bit more finesse with James Cook. Could have had an effect. I'm not trying to make those excuses. I'm not. Because we played the game today. And that's what we got. That's what we got, ultimately. A loss, 31-17. Thought the game was closer than what the final score indicated. We just got down 21-0. Got down 21-0. You can't do that. Can't do that in a playoff game. But you look at Mason, man. I thought Mason played good, 229. Josh Allen had 203. Mason had 5.9 average yards per attempt. Allen had 6.8. It's not like they played like that much better. I get it. He had the 3 touchdowns. You know, he had some of the rushing. That's what you get from Josh Allen. That's why we consider him a really good quarterback in this league. But it's not like Mason didn't show up. It's not like we didn't show up as a whole. We just didn't play good complementary football. We didn't play good timely football either. When we'd have a turnover, when we'd have a bad play, Bills capitalized immediately. Like defense wouldn't pick up for the offense. Offense wouldn't pick up for the defense. And there you have it. There you have it. And then the refs got involved in the second half. It's a bummer. Big time bummer. I think I got what I needed to off my chest, at least for these first 7 minutes of the stream. Let me see what you guys are saying. That's a good point. Steel Nash says we didn't tackle. Yeah, would have liked to see some better effort from the defense. But vibes were down early on. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Vibes were just down. Offense wasn't giving us anything. Nothing at all. And once we did start to get something going, Mason picking the red zone. And that pass, too, like I get what Mason was doing. Kyrie Elam is trash. Moats has said he is the worst cornerback that the Bills have. So I get testing him. The ball could have been better. Should Deontay have come back for it in a more aggressive fashion? I don't know. Mason could have let him outside more. There's a lot that you could talk about with that play. Like could have, would have, should have. Like I didn't even think Elam knew. I think he got lucky. He turned around and the ball like hit him in the chest. He had no intention of picking that ball. It's just that he was right there, right position, right time. Because I'd say he dropped the easier one the second time around when Mason tested him with that Pickens out route in the third quarter. Hit him right in the chest. That was the easier pick to have. I don't know, man. I don't know. Marvin Emba says, Mason played well, but if we score there, much different game. Yeah, 100%. We score there and we score or not score. We don't fumble. That Pickens fumble doesn't happen. Those two things occur. I think it's a different ball game. Very much a different ball game. Because we did good things in the second half. I thought it was so much more equal in the second half of this game. I think we proved that we could play with the Bills and we could play with any team when we're doing our thing, when we're playing Steeler football. But we didn't do that in the first half. Didn't at all. We got that nice field goal block, got us in the game, shifted momentum. We capitalized on that. So that was nice. That was nice. I appreciate the fight that we had in this one. I really did. I don't think anyone gave up. The tackling could be better, to the one commenter's point from a couple minutes ago. The tackling could have been better. I didn't like some of that. Joe Maida, that pass interference holding call was terrible. Which one are you talking about? Because, yeah, there were back-to-back series where the Bills had it on offense, refs were making soft calls, and then we get the ball on offense, and refs decide to not throw flags at all. They decide, nah, those calls that we made for the Bills' favor, we're not going to do them for the Steelers' favor. Let's just not do that. Let's go blind here. Let's go blind for the Steelers series. Because it was the Miles Jack holding on a ball that was not even close to catchable. And I don't even think Miles Jack held him. Miles Jack was with him the whole way down the field. And I remember him putting his hand out in front of I don't even remember who he was covering. Was it a tight end? It was either Kincaid or Knox. He just put his hand out. I don't remember a hold, yet they called holding. So that gave the Bills just a little momentum on that last drive. A little bit. Because I could have seen them getting more tense if that call didn't go their way. All of a sudden, they're sitting at 2nd and 10. Who knows? Who knows? And then the Josh Allen scramble where he gets a few yards and slides, and Miles Jack lands on top of him. No intention of trying to hit him, just wants to make sure that he's down. Let's up off it. But no, you know, let's throw the flag. Let's throw that. All right, cool. And then, like I said, for our series, 2 absolutely blatant jersey tugs by the Bills defenders, back-to-back plays on Jaylen Warren and then on Pickens on the 4th down. I mean, just absolutely blatant, clearly blatant. But refs, didn't want to throw the flags for whatever reason. I don't know. You guys tell me. We got a Pat P comment here. Who said this? Who said I lost it. Someone said Pat P needs to stay in Buffalo. I think he needs to stay at safety. I think that's the more fair take. He needs to stay at safety. I think his days at cornerback are done. JPJ played good. Unfortunately, he went down with that concussion. Only gave up a couple catches to Diggs. JPJ was nice out there. Didn't really think our secondary cost us like that. It was more the Bills' running game. James Cook on the ground, Josh Allen on the ground, some of our lack of tackling. Like the Josh Allen long touchdown, it was a good play. It should have only been like a 15, 20-yard gain. Casey just completely botched that tackle. Completely. That should have been down at like the 25, 30. And then you make them play in the red zone. You see what you make them execute there. But now it just ended up being an explosive play on the Bills' end. X Concepts 1 says Mason was the only reason we had a chance. O-line was terrible. Wasn't great. No, it wasn't great. I didn't think they were great in the run game, and you're right, in the passing game. A lot of times, Mason had to get the ball out quick. And sometimes he maneuvered pretty decent in the pocket. He did maneuver pretty decent. I got to give that dude credit. I really do. We got to bring him back. I stand by what I said after his 3 games in the regular season. I think you bring him back for competition with Pickett. There was nothing in this game that made me say, nah, I'm just ready to move on. Nah, Mason ain't it. Nah, I want to see what he's got, actually. I do. Because the one silver lining you could say from this game is we got our young core some legit playoff experience. We did. Like, that does count for something. We can build off something like this. And now, trust me, I still think we could have won this game. It's not like our time's too early. But we do have some inexperience. We do have some young players on this team. So maybe that first half will be a learning lesson. And holy hell, you know what? I completely forgot about this. I was just about to bring up, that could be a learning lesson for us in ball security and how precious the ball is and how when you have it, you can't be giving it up because you see what can take place. A team in the playoffs is typically a good team. They can capitalize on it. Score can go from 0-0 to 14-0 and snap a finger. But what I was going to say is the Freiermuth fumble. I will say that, you know what? I think we got blessed on that one. I think we got blessed on that Freiermuth fumble. Man, because there was that conversation of, did the Bills dude gain control of it before he went out of bounds? Did it hit Freiermuth's helmet? But is the ball hitting Freiermuth's helmet a relevant point of discussion in this challenge? I don't know. They just said they came out there and said, call on the field stands. So that's that. I will admit that. I thought we got blessed with that one. But nothing else went our way with the refs. Nothing else. T. Lottie, we need a running back swallower at linebacker. We had 2 good, really, really good linebackers to start this season in Quan Alexander and Cole Holcomb. I don't remember tight ends or running backs killing us in the first half of the season. I don't at all. But that's what could happen when you get a dude like Miles Jack up off the couch. You got Mark Robinson out there, Michael Walker, a practice squad dude. This is the type of stuff that could happen. Bill's got some decent weapons at the tight end and running back position, and that's what hurt us. Because Diggs didn't hurt us. Their receivers really didn't hurt us like that. No, it was more the middle of the field. Josh Allen doing some scrambles, Josh Allen targeting his tight ends, and James Cook. That's what killed us this game. Our linebackers got exposed. Now, is it a fault of our front office? I can't say that because I thought we did everything we needed to address the position this offseason. We just got banged up. Sucks. Definitely sucks. And let's not act like if we don't turn the ball over in the first half, we're still not in this game with what we have on defense. We shot ourselves in the foot. Like we could have made it work with this team. We could have figured it out. But that's depending on whether or not we turn the ball over and whether or not we hurt ourselves. Because when we don't do that, we can play with anyone. We got a smaller margin of error than some of these other teams in the playoffs, but we can compete. Just wasn't our day, man. Just wasn't our day for playing the right way. T-Geek. This is a hot take. He says Fitzpatrick sucks. I can't agree with that. No, I can't. No, he's the best safety in the league. Did he have a little bit of an off game? Potentially, yes. Saw some plays out there that he would typically make. But this is his first game back from injury after, 5 or 6 weeks. Jay Hewitt, yep, this point has been brought up earlier. He says, we don't have that interception in the end zone. We're talking about a different game. Yeah, if you even want to take the Pickens fumble out of it, we just don't throw the pick. You get 3 points there. It's a different game. D-Max, I don't want to see this stat. It says we're 1-7 without TJ Watt now. That was something that was missing. We didn't get enough pressure on Allen. I don't think Highsmith did enough. I don't think Golden did enough either. Don't remember Herbig really doing anything on the defensive side of the ball, at least. Yeah, we didn't get enough pressure. Nope. Yeah, we missed TJ. That's why he's the best defensive player in the league. Yeah. We miss him when he's not out there. X Concepts 1. Is it? Yeah, this is the one with the picks. It's 5 wide at the goal line was the worst call I've ever seen at the 3-yard line. Obviously you could see I got a different backdrop here. I'm over at my friend's house. That's where I was watching the game. That's what my buddy said. And he was like, we just got to run the ball first 2 downs, see what happens, and then you figure it out on third with the pass. And then we came out 5 wide on 2nd down. I thought it was a good matchup to attack. If I'm Mason Rudolph, I get it. You got Deontay Johnson versus Khair Elam. Could have been a better ball. Maybe it just wasn't there. Maybe he just shouldn't have thrown it. Thought Deontay was going to make a play against a weak cornerback, and it just didn't happen. Went right to Khair Elam. Like I said, could have Deontay come back for the ball better? Could Mason have thrown a better ball that was more towards the out of bounds? Yeah, I mean, that's on Mason. That's on Mason. I'm not even going to put that on Deontay. He made the throw. He made the decision. And that was the result. Yeah, I think we could have just ran the ball. It did feel like our running game was stale at times, though. So I get the reason for passing, but I guess that just wasn't the pass. That just wasn't it. The matchup was decent, but it just didn't work out. Steel Nash says it was a lucky catch. I do think that too. Elam was not trying to pick the ball off. It just hit him in the chest and was like, oh crap. The ball's right here. I guess I'll pick it off. Because he dropped the one that was easier, where he actually had time to think about it and be like, okay, this ball's right here. Pick and slip. Let me get this. He dropped that one. Like, that was just a flat-out drop. He intended to pick that one off. The one he didn't intend to pick off was the one that he actually did pick off. This game just didn't make sense. Didn't make sense. We didn't play good enough. I mean, flat out, that's just what it comes down to. There are excuses. There are nuances and things we can bring up. and that I have brought up throughout the course of this stream, the refs were bad. They didn't help us. Didn't help us at all. Not that I'm asking for help. In fact, they hurt us with some of their soft calls and how they're favoring the Bills with these calls. There's no doubt about that. We all saw that. But we dug ourselves too deep of a hole. What are your guys' take on the game being moved? Does anyone have takes on that? I ultimately feel like it doesn't matter. Like, we can't be relying on it to be a snow game to win. But it would have helped us. I think it would have helped us. It would have helped with our style of football. But I still don't think it should have mattered. That was my take before the game. But seeing how the refs called it, combined with the game being moved, and bro, the Bills fans throwing these snowballs on the field, aren't the refs supposed to like give a warning out to the crowd, throw a flag for that type of stuff? Like, yeah, I've seen the refs handle situations like that in the past, where they're like, hey, you can't do this anymore. You're gonna hurt your team. We're gonna call penalties on your team if you keep throwing snowballs on the field. But it was prevalent throughout the course of the game. Okay, whatever. I guess, again, the refs just turned a blind eye for things that favored the Bills. All right, whatever. They didn't. They didn't throw it. But all right, whatever. Like, it was blatant. Like, we all saw it. Snowballs being thrown throughout, like, literally from the snap of the ball, the first quarter, all the way throughout. All right. Yeah, the one Mason throws it up to Pickens, back corner of the end zone. All right, they're just going to throw snowballs at the players, and you're going to let that happen? Okay, all right. I don't want to come off as too excuse-making, though. I truly don't. These were just things I noticed and was like, yeah, this isn't cool. We didn't play good enough football. End of the day. We didn't play good enough football. Bills played better today. They also had the refs on the payroll. All things can be true. What's this? KCG. I gotta look this back. He says Josh Allen fake slid on the 52-yarder. I gotta look that back. Oh, this is a good one too. The hit on Porter. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're just gonna let the Bills offensive lineman take a cheap shot at Porter behind the back. All right. Okay. That seems to be the energy you're on. You're keeping it consistent with that. You're letting all this stuff slide for the Bills, but are calling ticky-tack stuff for the Steelers. Okay. I get it. That's what we're on here. All right. Darty 476908. Peterson needs to be gone next year. Miles Jack needs to be gone as well. Well, Miles Jack was an emergency situation. Jack hasn't played bad for us this year, though. I don't think he played terrible for us in this game. I mean, I guess I'd have to look back and what he was doing in the run game. I don't think he was terrible for us. I think he just got some BS calls on him, which made him more of a highlight or made him more targeted or a guy that we're talking about after the game. You know what I mean? He was featured more in this one. Peterson, I already mentioned that. I think he just needs to get moved to safety. Give him a chance to compete at safety next year. I think he's done at cornerback. We got to address CB early in the draft or in free agency. Get a guy to pair up with JPJ. See what Corey Trice can do. Yeah, have a competition between like a veteran, draft a dude in the first 2-3 rounds. See what Trice can do. And yeah, that could be your cornerback room right there. Get a slot guy like a Chin and Sullivan back or an Elijah Riley. There you go. Don't care 3437 says, who's this homeless bum talking? I'm not homeless. Are you calling me homeless because the hat? This hat is sick, bro. This hat is sick. I was getting compliments on the hat all day. Is it the hat? Calling me homeless? I got a Mason Rudolph jersey. This jersey was like $130. I don't know if a homeless guy is popping tags on a $130 jersey like me. Appreciate you stopping by, though, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, Concepts is bringing up that Pickens play at the end. He was pissed, bro. You saw him throw that helmet on the sidelines. He was pissed. The Jaylen Warren one, though, on third down might have been worse. It was blatant. I mean, there was space between the player and the jersey. You could see the jersey being tugged probably for like a foot. The jersey had like a foot stretch on it. Cam Sack says, will you be talking baseball? Probably not. No. What other takes you guys got? Am I missing anything from this game? Bring me up stuff from this game. If you want, I guess you could talk some future stuff too, but we'll get more into that tomorrow and tomorrow's stream. I'll be back at 11:30 a.m. if you guys want to tune into that. We could talk future stuff. What do we do at quarterback? What should our depth chart look like? What should we be focusing on in the offseason? Like all that type of stuff. Probably Tomlin. What's going on with him? Is he going to be back? And yeah, I think Tomlin should be back. I'm sticking with my guns on that one. P. Maravella says we should have run the ball more, but because we were down, we decided to throw it. I don't know. I think our run game was just stale. Najee wasn't getting much for us. Run game wasn't there today. Maybe that is because of our slow start. But you would think with how we were passing, I just thought, I was expecting more out of our run game. I don't know if I could put my fingerprint on it. Some of you guys brought up the O-line not playing up to snuff. Yeah, that could have been a part of it. But yeah, run game was not there. That wasn't one of my major takeaways after this one, that we should have run the ball more. Yeah, we should have ran the ball more effectively. We just weren't running it effectively. So I get why we passed it the way we did. I thought Mason played good. I thought we had our best chance to move the ball with Mason passing it for the most part. Keeping a balance, but not just going exclusively run. Making sure, just making sure we were airing it out. Yeah, Daniel, all right, JMG3521 says Daniels was terrible. Yeah, he might be a guy we got to look at. Him and Mason Cole might have to look at their contracts and see if they're going to be worth it for us to keep around. Oh, that's it. Lou says, Tomlin isn't the problem. I don't understand why his name keeps being brought up. Honestly, it's because of things like today, us underperforming in the playoffs. It is hard to win in this league, but we know what our standard is here in Pittsburgh, and that's championships. We want deep playoff runs. We want multiple playoff wins. We want to feel like we compete with the best. And I feel like we can. I truly do. I feel like this team could have competed with anyone in the AFC. But we didn't perform. And here's the point I'm going to bring up. And this is why I do defend Tomlin. Is Mason's pick on Tomlin? Is Pickens fumbling the ball on Tomlin? No, that's not on Tomlin. You want to talk about some timeouts? You want to talk about the timeouts. There was 2 timeout scenarios in this game where you could question Tomlin, like, are we doing this right? The first one was right before half, where we got a sack on Josh Allen. It was 2nd and 17, and we were down 21-7 at that point. Should we be aggressive? Call a timeout here and give our offense a chance to get the ball and maybe kick a field goal? Or do we by taking a timeout? Essentially, if the decision was to take a timeout or not to take a timeout. The flip side of taking the timeout is, okay, you may give your offense a chance to get the ball back and have some time. That is if, though, Allen and the Bills don't pick up another first down, because if you call a timeout and the Bills pick up a first down, then you give them more time to potentially get their own field goal. So that was the scenario right there. We ended up just letting it play out, let the clock run down, and going to the half 21-7. I think there's an argument that we should have taken a timeout there and just see, like, all right, Bills, 2nd and 17. What are you going to do? Are you going to run the ball, be more conservative, or are you actually going to take a shot? Let's see how real you are about trying to get these points and be aggressive. That's the chess game of football. I would have liked to take the timeout. There is a flip side to it because if Josh Allen does pick up a first down there, it's like, oh, man, we just gave the Bills another opportunity to move the ball down the field when they had no timeouts and the clock was against them. I would have preferred the timeout, though. I think that's an argument for sure. Like if you want to critique Tomlin, this is something we've talked about with him before, though. Clock management, some of the timeout stuff. And then the other one was late in the game. Whenever it was, what was it? It was our last drive, our last real drive. That one where we had 5-6 minutes left, 2-score game. We would have had a score there to make it a 1-score game, right? And we called a timeout instead of just taking the delay of game. I would have much rather it have been 3rd and 8 with all your timeouts versus 3rd and 3 and 2 timeouts. Because you're in 4-down territory either way. I think the timeouts at that point in the game are way more valuable than the 5 yards. So those are legitimate critiques on Tomlin. Now, in terms of being a good coach, getting your team always in the mix, adjustments being made on the fly, like he does a good job of all of that. The Mason pick, the Pickens fumble, like that's not on the coach. That's what really this game comes down to. It was that. Shot ourselves in the foot. Refs didn't help us, and that was that. We lost 31-7. Mikey S, 67-31. Yeah, the tackling wasn't good. There were times, though, there was a time or two, particularly in the second half, when the clock wasn't the clock wasn't in our favor, where us giving up a touchdown was more helpful because it would give us more time. As long as it's a 2-score game, because the Bills had the ball, they were driving it, they were chewing up the clock. Once they got to a point where they could kick a field goal, I was like, you know what? It's better for them to score quicker than for them to just keep chewing the clock, because the clock is the biggest factor in this game right now. No matter what, whether they kick a field goal or score a touchdown, it's a 2-score game either way. So as weird as it sounds, that Minka missed tackle and us looking like idiots falling over ourselves and the Bills guy scoring a touchdown at the end of the game, I felt that helped us because it gave us more time at the end to try to score within 3-4 minutes. If we get that touchdown, then our defense got to make a stop. I feel like that played more into our favor and ultimately winning the game, but we didn't execute. We went 4 and out, but that was also due to the refs completely whiffing on those pass interference calls as well. What can you do, man? What can you do? I like this comment. P. Maravella. NFL doesn't want the Steelers to be on top. That's what it is. Steelers versus the world out here, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. KCG, is Muth who we think he is? Let's be real. I love the guy and he has potential, but will he turn into that? Yeah, I think injuries will be a factor with Muth and his potential because he gets banged up every year. And quarterback play, who we have back there under center, and then also his blocking. Like, those are 3 things that will affect if he'll ever hit his ceiling. But he's there. He's got the talent. We all see that for sure. All right, guys. I think I'm out of here, man. I'm going to be back tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Stop through if you want to give more, I don't know, I guess just overall takes of the state of the Steelers with the offseason starting now, what we do going forward. If we got to address anything we missed in this stream, tomorrow we'll do that as well. But all right. Yeah, it sucks. This sucks. Definitely sucks. There was hope. I thought we had a chance, even with all the stupid stuff we did in the first half. I thought we had a chance. It was looking promising there at certain points, 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, but yeah, didn't get it done. Did not get it done. But stay chilling. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Might be rocking the hat again, too. Might be rocking the hat, but still Steelers on top, though. It's still Steelers on top. Peace.